episode of the Motivators Table Podcast. Yes, we still in season 4, but we got a huge guest today. But I want to thank my sponsors. Thank you to Los Angeles Tribune for allowing me to provide my positive information on their platform. Thank you to Riverside. Thank you to all my sponsors. Thank you to ProImmune, and thank you to Easy Pills. I appreciate you. Let's get started though, motivators. Get your highlighters, get your pens ready, get everything you need because we about to go in. We got a huge guest that just graduated with our doctorate and in a PhD in our doctorate. Doctor, Doctor Amanda Wink. How you doing?
Hi.
How you
Hi.
doing today? How you doing today? How you feeling today?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad to have you on. We've been talking about doing this, and I wanted to spotlight you. I have a huge platform, and I couldn't wait to have this conversation with you and just let the world know how great you are. So let me know
Oh,
who you are and where you come from.
yeah. So my name's Dr. Andrea Swink,
Yeah,
and I live in, well, it's cold right now, but
yeah.
beautiful St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm from originally from um, Oklahoma, Edmond, Oklahoma, which is part of Oklahoma City, and I have a fantastic family and set of friends, and um, I just finished my doctorate degree December 19th from Kaiser University Graduate School. So I am a first generation. Hello.
There you go.
Okay, I'm a first generation doctor in my family. First generation to do a lot of things. So that's it. I have a doctorate in industrial and organizational psychology. My master's I received from Kaiser University as well in IO psychology. And my undergrad, which I'm extremely proud of as well, I received my BA in organizational leadership from the University of Oklahoma out of Norman, Oklahoma.
Shout out to all them places that gave you the education. Shout out to Kaiser too, because I'm also a
Yep.
Kaiser baby too. Been with Kaiser
Yep.
since 2018. The
Yeah.
struggle is real, but I tell you, I just watched you go through it, and you gave me a whole lot of hope with your dissertation and everything. So I'm right behind you. God willing, I'll be using you and your company to help me get through it for my dissertation. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, I'd be right there with you. It's a
Yes,
grind. It's a
yes,
grind. It's the struggle is real. It's a full-time job in itself. It is a different level of stamina. Getting your doctorate is no easy task. So if somebody thinks that it's easy, it is not. It is, and you know as well as anybody with all the work that you put in outside of charity and just your regular work and everything that you do, which is fabulous. Then you're doing all this homework, right?
yes.
And preparing for the big paper and the big end, the big reveal is what I call it. And so it is a different kind of task that that's why not everybody does it, right?
Yes.
Everybody cannot do this. If it was easy, everybody would. That's what
Right.
Dr. Robert Kaiser always says. If it was
Yes.
easy, everybody would do it. But
Right.
it's not that easy. And now a lot of people might go back for another PhD or another master's. That is not me.
Not me either.
JR, I am done.
Yes. I'm done. I'm
I'm not
done.
doing this again.
Yes.
No. One and done. We're
One and
good.
done.
Yes, yes.
No.
But it's something that I will forever be proud of. I'm forever grateful, and I've said this a million times to Kaiser University. They gave me the platform and the confidence to do something that I did not think that I was capable of. I mean, when I was growing up, I grew up on a farm and 400 acres in a little town called Cashin, Oklahoma, and not once was I ever told or believed, and it's nothing against my parents or anybody like that, that I could accomplish something like this. So I think
Right.
it's important for, your viewers, especially young kids, to understand that you don't have to be told that you can do something. You just have to do it, and you just have to know that you can do it.
Exactly, and I love why you how you put that because on my platform I try to let the kids know and people who watching that hey, people sometimes they see my wall, and I show them I said hey, I ain't seen nothing like this growing up. So to have it
No,
and do it and be supported and you know what I'm saying, be who I am. I want people to get inspired. And sometimes you get people that be like, oh, you don't have. I'm like, yes, I do have to do that because at the end of the day, I don't see people that look like me go through or stay just to get their education. You know what I'm saying? We're in different
right,
cultures. We're taught that we don't need it, and I believe that you
right,
do need it, and everybody can't get it, and that's why you just
right,
got yours. And I
right.
appreciate you, and I saw you go through it, and we
Yeah.
appreciate you. And I'm gonna tell you something. When I first met you, I've been known you, but I always thought you was already a teacher at Kaiser. How you approach me, how you talk to me, everything. I was like, she works there anyway. You know what I'm saying? She's, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying. You were so nice and just so
Oh,
warm, but you
thank
already
you.
fit the mold. And I tell people all the time, you can't fake frequency. You can't fake it.
No,
So
no,
you've been had your
no.
PhD. You were just waiting for the time to catch up with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Yeah, yeah,
right, right,
yeah. Yeah,
right.
and we appreciate you because people like myself, I watch the people that like you just got done. I can't wait
Right.
because you gave me hope. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I can do this. I got this is 4 weeks right now, but after this next 4 weeks, I will literally have 3 classes left, and then I start my dissertation. I do my
Dissertation.
test, and then I start my dissertation. Yeah.
Right,
Yes.
right. And I think people don't realize that there's a process to even getting your diploma. Even I I submitted my for my publication and I got some stuff back and I just need to adjust a couple of things and then I'll submit it for true publication. But even before that, the university has to sign off on it, give it back to you. You have to submit it for publication. They have to send it back to you. Like there's a whole process and then there's months before you even get your diploma, right?
Come
And
on.
then we have to wait till the graduate school graduation in September to graduate. So if you finish in December, you've got to wait 9 months before you can graduate. So you have to celebrate the little things in life. I do that well in my life, from, oh my gosh, I mean, how many times did I send something to you and I made 100 on my paper? And
Yes.
I think we forget about those things, JR, in
Mm,
life. When we have a good day or somebody makes us smile or we get so wrapped up. I do it. We all do it. We're human beings. It's behavior. It's natural that we wrap ourselves into, oh my gosh, this didn't work out for me.
right.
And then I step back and I'm like, okay, it didn't work out for me. And you say this a lot, that path was not for me that day, or that
Mm,
path was not for me that month, or whatever, or that person is not good for me. And I think it's okay. I have a hard time because I have a guilty Catholic conscience.
yeah.
And so, so it's hard for me to let go of things because I want everybody to be happy and I want everything to be good. And being in a PhD program, I think teaches you a little bit of just cutting that tie mentally and telling yourself, listen, you're doing this for whatever reason and you have to stay focused. And if people or things don't work out during that time, it's okay. It wasn't meant to be at that time.
Right, definitely, and I love how you put that because that's exactly how it is. And like I said, you gave us hope, and we seen you go through it, and we watched. We was at a residency last year together in
Yes.
Fort Lauderdale, and you was
Yeah.
helping me, and we talking, and it's
Yeah.
crazy how you talk about right people.
Right.
When we started to get serious about things that we had going on, I had people
Right.
in my life that was quote unquote trying to push me to a place where they've never been, and
Right.
it didn't work. And
Right.
I'm no shot on them, but at the end of the day, like God has me designated for a right purpose and the right time, and I'm not
Right.
doing something that you want me to do because you think it looks good. This is my
Right.
birthright. This is my gift. This is where I'm going. I'm not doing for the fashion or the likes or the clicks.
Right.
This is my gift, so I have to stick
Right.
with it. I know I know, and you just said it right there. And that was a question I was going to ask you. Is when I'm done in December, because I'm following your footsteps. I have
Yeah.
to wait 9 months till I walk the
Yes.
stage.
Yes.
9 months.
I
I can walk
know.
in January or February.
You can. They do have an all-state graduation that you
Okay.
can walk in January. I had already I had already went through the January graduation a year and a half previous for my master's at the
Gotcha.
Allstate. So I didn't want to do that again, like have the same, I wanted it to be something different. The graduate school graduation, I think that Kaiser University really does a fantastic job about really recognizing their graduate students to where it's not, they don't have two or three graduating sessions through the year. They have one, and they do really good at that. They make it special not only for the graduates but for the families as well. And I think it's important to recognize that is what separates Kaiser. I'm sitting here doing a spiel for them.
Hey, listen, Kaiser,
Kaiser is
pay her
different.
promo.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
But no, it's student first at Kaiser University. I think that you have felt that. I have felt that definitely. Being the SGA president, of the graduate school, I had a, all, no, I don't want to say all access pass, but I definitely had access to the vice chancellor, Dr. Robert Kaiser, of our graduate school, and as well as the faculty and administration, and they're all great. So
Yes.
yeah, you kind of got to wait until September. I know it's
No, it's, o-
difficult.
it's okay. It's okay. Because I think the one you're talking about is the one across the street from the Tampa campus.
Yeah,
Yes, okay, yeah. So I think I'm gonna do the same thing, but I just want to get done. And also,
yeah,
I didn't know that you taught me that our gowns cost $1,000.
yeah. I mean, well, here's the deal. There's different levels for sure that you can
Oh,
do. But the gown that I want, it's the top of the line. It's the cream of the crop through Jostens, and
yeah.
it's 900 and close to $1,000, and that's the one I want. There are other options that are more economical, that go down a little bit in cost. But the one, I mean, I hope to get to wear it again to another commencement as a speaker or something like that. And so
Yeah.
you get to do this one time. That's the way I look at it. We're one and done with this as a student. And so for me, anything less than what I want, I'm not going to be satisfied.
Right.
Um, and it's not, I want to make sure that, we're having an honest conversation.
Yes.
I don't come, me well enough. I don't come from money. I
Yeah.
don't have a bank account that's flush with cash.
Yeah.
My parents don't and didn't. We were definitely on the low end of
Hmm.
income when I was growing up. And so, for doing something like this, I didn't do it for me. And I've told you that I did that for my grandmother. I did it for my mom. And more importantly, I did it to make sure that I can give myself a platform, just like yourself,
Right.
to take care of those that I love. So they've done everything for me. I need to do it for them.
Right.
And that's why I did it. And I think you have to have a purpose when you're doing this. It can't just be, I'm going back to school, I'm going to get my PhD. It can. Everybody has their own path, but for me it was much bigger. It's getting my granny out of a nursing home. It's taking care of my mom. She's worked her tail off her whole life, right?
Shout out to
It,
mom. Shout out to mom.
shout out to mom. Mom's
Yeah.
wonderful. Mama
You said
Renee. Yes,
she
yes.
has my mother and your mom has the same name, Renee.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, they
Yes.
do. Yeah, and you actually got to meet her at residency this last year as well.
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Shout out to mom.
yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think it's just you have to have a purpose, and I think we lose purpose sometimes, JR, in life. We lose focus. We lose what at the end of the day. Even what I would call people that don't like me, right? For some reason or another, not everybody's going to like you, right? So
Right.
even those people, and you and I have spoke about that, if they called me and said I needed help, I'd be there, right? So
Right.
it's just one of those things but I think my greatest accomplishment during my PhD is learning more about myself.
Mm-hmm.
and learning more about what I could do. Um, Learning more about if I was putting a challenge in front of me, can I accomplish it?
Right.
And I want to give a shout out to one of my mentors, Rich Herrera. He's on the I always get the letters mixed up, so I'm so sorry. But he's on the radio station out of Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
And I called him, and I think it's really important. You and I spoke about this of having mentors, and to all your kids that follow you, having a mentor, multiple mentors, is very important. I've had those throughout my life, and I think that it's important. And I know you understand that, and
Mm-hmm.
you definitely talk about that on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
Find that person. It doesn't have to be a pastor. It doesn't have to be a principal. It doesn't have to be a teacher. It can be anybody that inspires you to challenge yourself. But Rich was really an integral part in me deciding to go to graduate school. And let me tell you what happened. I called him and I said, "Hey, I respect you. I love you and your family. We've known each other for years. I want you to, I want to set a time and I want you to
Mm-hmm.
tell me if I make this decision to go get my PhD, what do you think? What's your opinion? Do you think that I can do this? I need to hear your honest opinion." So he calls me and he says, "Okay, let's do this." So we did a video call, and he says he tears me down, just like the military, and
Yes.
you know what that's like. They
Yes.
tear
I'm
you
with
down
you.
to build you back
Yes.
up,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so he tears me down. I get off the call. I am in tears. I'm 40 some years old. I'm in tears, JR.
Uh-huh.
Tears. Like I was hysterically crying.
Yeah.
So he goes, "Call me back next week and we'll have a talk and see what you think about it after you've, you know,
Yeah.
thought about this."
Uh-huh.
So I called back the next week and I thought about it. And he goes, "Well, we're meeting again." And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Here's the deal." He goes, "You don't have to be the smartest person in the room or in
Mm.
the classroom, because there's one thing about Andrea Swink that I know, and she will work 10 times harder than anybody else in that classroom." And
Exactly.
that, my friend, got me through my PhD program. And that's what has to get you through life.
Mm.
Is you don't have to be the smartest. You don't have to have the most money. Money is nothing. Money is nothing. Like, you know how I feel about that, right?
Right. Right.
Money only gets you the nicer things in life, right? It
Mm.
puts
Yep.
it's sustainable. It sustains you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what got me through, because I knew in those classes I wasn't always the smartest person. I didn't understand some of that stuff. I was like, I don't understand. I even had to have tutors because I was like, somebody's got to explain this to me in my terms so I can
Right.
understand. And I think that that's what's important is, and he goes, "But I know that if you do something, you're going to finish it, and I know you're going to work hard." So
Right.
I think that those are some things that, to especially to, I know you have a lot of children that follow
Yeah.
you,
Mm-hmm.
and I know you speak to a lot of children, and I think that that's important.
Right, and I love the way that you broke it down. And I tell people all the time, just like you said, you know, education is not about how smart you are, especially when you start getting higher up and chasing the degrees. It's about
Right.
consistency and who stays the longest. And I definitely stayed the
Right.
longest with the lights out and cried and frustrated,
Yeah.
and even doing this with
Right.
my PTSD, my anxiety, my depression, even
Right.
being the top motivational speaker in the world, still pushing on because I have something to prove to myself. And I know that at the
Right.
end of the day, even now, like I'm doing homework right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Right.
I'm really living in that moment. This ain't nothing to be like, oh, you no. Like I'm fine with just speaking and traveling, but I wanted to get the doctorate so I could show the kids that they can do exactly what I'm doing and they can be better at it too. And I tell my son all the
Right.
time, I said, ain't no man gonna want you to be better than him except your father. So let's go get it. Let's go be better version of ourselves today. And we thank you. Tell me how you was as a high school kid and a college kid, just regular. Tell me.
So, I was an athlete, uh, for God, I mean, years. I started at 4 playing t-ball. I started at, it was so funny. I started I think at 9, maybe somewhere between 7 and 9, I was playing fast pitch softball. I was a catcher. I didn't start out as a catcher. I started out as a third baseman. And our catcher, I always played up. My dad, he was fabulous. He was always one of my coaches, and our pitcher, I can't remember her name. Her name was Terry. That's all I
Yeah.
remember. But our catcher, I played 4 years up, so I was 9 playing 13 and under, and she got hurt. She broke her arm, I believe, or something like that. So Daddy takes me back out into the pasture, by the way, and he takes a bucket of balls and he puts the gear on me and he says, "You're gonna start catching." And I was like, "I'm gonna do what?" Right? I like these balls are gonna come out how fast? And I fell in love with it. And I think that that, again, sports is a great way to keep children focused and motivated and on track. And I played basketball from the time I was in third grade until I was in the first couple of years of my college. I played intramural, women's leagues, stuff like that. I was the point guard.
Mm,
I was always the point guard. I loved it. I I ate, I drank, and I slept basketball, and I loved it.
I love
I
it.
love softball too. I still love it. I love watching, I'm a sports fan as it is. So that's kind of what my life consisted of. But my parents made sure they didn't have a lot of money, but they made sure that I stayed on track. I was a AB student. I struggled in science and math, and I did make some C's for sure. But I did my homework. I was always consistent. I struggled with tests. I think that's important as a psychologist to understand that there's so many things that we have to look at nowadays that you and I did not have
Right.
when we were kids, right? So
Right.
we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have all this other distractions, but we had our own things, right? Our
Right.
own distractions.
Hmm.
And I was never a drinker. I've never done drugs in my entire life. I'm very proud of that. And I stayed out of trouble. I was scared to death of my dad. So I was like, oh my gosh, if I get in trouble, my dad he is gonna come down hard on me, you know?
Right.
So I rode horses when I was a kid. I grew up on a farm. So I did a lot outside. I played a lot outside, and I had a small group of friends who are still my friends.
Wow, I love that. And
Yeah.
I have friends that I grew up with in California. Shout out to them. 40-year friendships. 40
Yeah.
years from
Yeah.
kindergarten. I'm 45, so
Yeah.
from kindergarten to now, I still
Yeah.
know. We in the chat room together in the morning. We send each other prayers. So shout out to my friend group. Sometimes we're not on the same page, but we've been
Yeah.
friends since we were little kids. So you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But it doesn't matter.
It's rare though
In
to see
my
that.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. So one of my I call her my best friend, and we probably talk once a year, maybe, or twice a year, right? And she lives in Ada, Oklahoma, which is a small, small, small town with her daughter,
But
and we've known each other since we were 3.
mm,
And we always say that she was the pig farmer,
yeah,
and we raised cows, we raised cattle.
right.
And so we played in the ponds together. Like, we didn't have swimming pool, we played in the pond, right?
Yeah,
So I think about that, and then I think about where I'm at today. And if I didn't have all that, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
exactly, exactly.
And so, I always tell people, life is not TikTok. Life is not perfect. Our life is, it is it's a roller coaster. You're
Right,
gonna have ups and downs, and
definitely.
it's gonna be hard, and it's gonna be rough, and it's gonna slap you in the face, and then you
Right.
just keep on going.
You got to be prepared for it, though. You got to understand
Yeah,
that with this
yeah,
journey and trials and tribulations, that it's a journey, and you got to understand that hey, if you're going to be somewhere great, you got to go through some messed up situations.
right.
Definitely, I want to, we got some situations, and I want to hear your story. So we hear the education piece, and shout out to mom and pops for being there for you. But let's talk
Yeah.
about the trials and tribulations that you had. Let's get in front of your ugly.
Oh gosh, I knew you were gonna say that,
Come
my
on, let's
ugly.
talk about it. Come on, let's get in front of it.
Yeah, yeah. I went through, gosh, I've been through a lot. I've lost my home. In
Mm,
2013, we lost our home to a house fire. My mom at the time lived with us, and she had lost everything, and then what was that, a year ago or 2 years ago in 2024, she lost everything again to the house fire. I mean, to the hurricane. But my ugly isn't that crazy? Isn't that ugly? I started in college, and I went through about 2.5, 3 years of college. I could not find my way. It didn't matter what I did, right? I've partied. I partied. I was a typical college student, right? You're 21, 22 years old. And then I came across a company that took a chance on me, and it was life changing. I learned a lot just by doing that. And my dad never wanted me to go in the military. I've always been a supporter of the military and our servicemen and women. By the way, thank you for your service.
shout out.
And we just got the SBA approved at the graduate school for Kaiser University.
Mm, that's good.
So yeah, and I was a huge, like, we got to push this. We got to push the button here.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and then I just kind of went down that trail of being like a national sales rep for some companies and regional sales reps, and I just could not find my way. And then I got off the road, I quit traveling, and I went into education through the Catholic school system, and I was there for, I think, almost 12 years. Time flies, so I've lost all track of
Yeah.
time. But in the administration roles, and I really found things that I like, and that is inspiring young children is amazing. Like, just to see their eyes light up. And I remember I was at the K through 12 or K through 8 school, and one summer I said, "We're not doing electronics, so you'll need to sign an electronic statement saying that I'm not going to have my electronics between 7 and 3." And you thought that the world was coming through. That I was not a very well liked person at all.
Mm,
And it was amazing because the kids learned how to cook, and they learned how to organize themselves and communicate and play. And we used wooden toys, and we used other things, and we became inventive and creative and all these kind of things. And so it was really good. And then, you know, we lost our home in 2013. It financially bankrupted us because insurance is not like it's supposed to be. Home insurance, any kind of insurance, it never is just wrapped up in a little package. And you know that, and I know that, right?
right.
And so we had to rebuild, and rebuild we did. We decided until school's over with, and I decide where I'm going to, set ground in life, and we put it all behind us. I wasn't going to go back into a home that I couldn't. It was too much. I just couldn't do it. See,
Right.
I'm getting teared up. You're making me. You're gonna make me cry,
No,
JayR.
that's how we talking about it. It's a real
Yeah,
story from a real person. They need to see this.
it is. It is. It is. And so then I was about. I think I was 39 or 40, and my grandmother had to go in a nursing home, and it was my third grandparent to go in a nursing home. Or actually, my fourth grandparent. Sorry, and I couldn't take it. I just could not take it. I said, "We're not doing this again. Surely there's got to be other ways." But you have to be poor in order to be able to afford to go into a nursing home or assisted living anymore. And I just couldn't do it. And I said, "You know what? I'm going to start tackling this." So I called the University of Oklahoma, where I always wanted to go, and I always wanted a degree from there. And I said, "I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this online." And that I did. And it was the greatest thing ever. And I actually, in 2021, during COVID, I was able to walk out on the Palace, which is their football stadium. And that's where my graduation took place. And it was a beautiful sunny day, and it was gorgeous. And I was the happiest person in the world. To graduate off their football field is there's nothing ever like it. And I couldn't be more grateful for them. But I'll tell you, they gave me the platform to believe in myself that I could even go to the next level. And I said, listen, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to get my bachelor's, right? And then I got through with my bachelor's and I was like, I started looking at jobs, job. And I said, this isn't going to work. This isn't enough. It's just not enough. It's not going to get me where I need to be to take care of Grammy. That's just not going to do it. And so I was like, well, I need to get my master's. And then I was looking at programs for masters and doctorals and, combo programs, and Kaiser has a BA to PhD. And I went into another university, which I'll keep nameless, but I went into another university for one little semester, like 1 8-week session, and I didn't like it. And the reason I didn't like it is because I could not communicate with the professors, the administration. There was nobody on the phone. It was horrible. I just didn't like it. And so Kaiser University has a Clearwater campus right up the street from me. And I told my mom, my mom plays an active role in my life, and she and I are best buds. And I said, Mom, I said, if they don't answer the phone and I have to talk to a machine, I'm not going there. We'll just keep on a trucking. So I called in Marge. Love Marge, and JayR, if you ever get to the Clearwater campus, you got to go in and give Marge a hug, because she is amazing, and President Wade is amazing. And Marge, she knows me. We've been through it together, right? Yeah. And she's cute, and I don't know if that's her full-time job or not. Marge shouldn't be working. Marge should be out on a cruise ship somewhere. Yeah. And she answered, and I said, Marge, this is Andrea Swink. You don't know who I am, but she goes, well, you just come on down here and we'll get you taken care of. And I literally hopped in my car and went down there. And I looked at my mom and go, this is where I'm going to school. And this is going to change my life. But I knew. And so they talked to me about just getting my master's. And I was like, no, this isn't going to be good enough. This isn't enough. It's not enough. I have to be a doctor.
Right.
Because I had to have because here's my theory on that, JayR. Somebody's going to come to me and go, you don't have your doctorate.
Right.
You have your master's, but you got to have a doctorate to have this degree.
That's crazy.
I mean, to have this job. Yeah.
That was my fear too. Is like, you in this realm and it's so saturated with speakers and life coaches. Why don't you continue with your education and separate yourself from the pack? Because you usually see the older people that have the doctorate. What about we're still in that middle realm that we can still articulate. They follow us. You don't know whose life you changing, Dr. Swink, when you got your doctorate. You don't even know.
I don't.
You changed my life. I'm like, man, I remember you talking about it, and I remember we going through it, and then it's like, boom, I'm done. I'm like, what? Yeah, and I'm like, you know what? I'm working with her. She gonna help me get mine to go through this right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's it's still surreal for me. It's still when people say doctor, it's still new.
Dr. Swink.
Right, doctor, right?
Yeah.
My dad calls me doc. He's visiting right now, and
Shout out to Pops.
Yeah. He's doing great, and fellow Marine.
Yes.
And I wake up and I come downstairs and he's like, hey doc, how's it going? And so it's just one of those things you have to get used to. But then when I went to Kaiser, it was choosing the degree that was best suited for me. And I think that's where I got struggled back in my early 20s, and back when I was 18. And sometimes I think you can figure it out, and then sometimes you couldn't. I know that I'm really good at business. Right. I know that I'm a good communicator. These are things that I know. So what fits that realm for me? And then I also like the psyche kind of things. Right. So I had to take all those, and their admissions person was fantastic with me. And she was like, well, this is what we got. And I was like, I have researched this. I think that this might be a fit. Because I knew I didn't want a business. I didn't want just general psych. I wanted like a combo of things. Right. And that's what they do great about. And so I went through their BA to PhD, meaning I already had a bachelor's. So I did my master's and my PhD at the same time.
Look, boy, and I didn't know that. See, world, I didn't know that.
Oh,
That's what she was doing. Now she's stunting on me. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I got to my master's, and my boy that was he graduates with his MD in May. Shout out to Remy. He was like, "You ain't done." I was like, "What
oh,
you talking about?" He was like, "Oh, we gonna keep going." I was like, "Man, I'm tired of school. I don't want. I didn't got all these certifications, PMP, all that." He was like, "You not done." So I graduated in 2024 with my master's in July, and I started my doctorate in August or September.
oh, yeah,
Yes,
yeah. So see, I mean, you're almost there.
yes, I'm almost
You're
there.
almost there, and
Yes,
it's not easy. So I think that that's the dirt. I wish I could give you more dirt, and
yes.
and it's been. I'm not gonna say it's. I've lost friends along the way of this path.
Let's talk about it.
I've Yeah, I have. I've lost business partners. I've lost friends. And it just happens because you're trying to go one way, right? And you have a vision and not everybody sees it, and it's okay. And it's a difficult path to go down, and that's the one thing that I was told when I started that was that you're going to lose people along the way, and I did. And I'm saddened that I lost people along the way, but on the same token, I had a mission, and nobody was getting in my way of it, and I was going through the wall, right? But I've made some great friends, and I'm really happy that I made the decision. I could use a little more sleep,
Yeah,
but yeah. So, but I've also figured out where my passions lie, and I know that you and I have spoke about that too.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
we definitely both have huge hearts of improving the world and improving communities, and I think that we have different angles of how we do that, and I think that this gives us a pedestal to do that.
Yes, definitely, definitely. It also gives you a leg up, and just seeing a real person go through it and understand, and you
Yeah.
know, it's not easy for people that are of we're older, we're not kids, so
No.
we're full
No.
time parents and and
Right.
and husbands and wives and
Yes.
relationships, and I got my kids and all these things I got going on, and then trying to push my brand and all these things simultaneously working together, and people look at me like it's easy, but what's
It's
crazy
not.
is too that I'm around a lot of people too that have honorary doctorates, and I said, I'll start feeling a certain type of way. Like you really didn't work for that because if you knew the amount of work that it took, you wouldn't be relishing that idea right there. And then
Yeah.
I would tell somebody that, hey, I'm a doctor. Are you a rapper or you getting an honorary? No, I'm working for mine. I'm grinding for
Yes.
mine. No shout out to people that got honoraries, but at the end of the day, like I'm grinding for mine because I want to see
Right.
what it feels like. So when I get there,
Right.
I can explain it the best way I can to somebody who wants to do the same thing I did. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's. I have I struggle with those kind of degrees and stuff, and I don't want to discredit anything, and I know that those are there for a reason, whether it be influence or whatever the case may be. But it is a different grind. It's
Right.
and nobody gave it to me, that's for sure. No, I
Right.
worked hard for it. And on top of all that, I was the president of the SGA for the
Yeah.
graduate school, which was no small feat for 4 years, which has never happened. Our entire team just went out. We're all graduating. So they just had the ceremony last week for the exit ceremony for us. And I want to give a shout out to them because they're amazing. And then also, I still have an exit ceremony for Saikai, which is an international honor society. But as well as I do, I sent you like a list of all the honor societies. So on top of all that, I'm speaking for the students, and I think that's where I found my voice is at Kaiser. I used to be very scared to speak up and really grind against people. Just that we're not going to take this, right?
Right.
And um, I've had some calls to do some things on the government levels and stuff like that, and I have not decided, I've not made any decisions on that. But more importantly, my dissertation was so important to me to bring light and understanding to what is going on in our environment. And that was really important to me. And I didn't let anybody change that.
Right. I love that. I love that you stuck to your guns, and you know,
Yeah.
I had a dream about you the other day, and it's like, I was, I was like, can she be on my IRB? You know what I'm saying, board? But
Oh,
I don't know how that works with Kaiser and newly graduates. But I was like, I would love that because you
yeah.
just went through it to see it, and you can help me initiate it. Because
Yeah.
I tell people all the time that, you know, they see my, oh, you smart. I said I learned slow, but when I pick it up, it's a wrap. So don't let me pick it up. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
that's
Right.
the type of learner I am. You know, it's like you got
Yeah.
to explain it to me more than once, but once I see it and grasp it, that's it. And
Yeah.
my claws are dug in. I got 3 classes left, and then my residency, and then I start my dissertation in August.
And you're
Yes,
going to grind through that quick.
yes, I'm
You're not going
ready.
to let grass grow under the feet.
No, 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 no. I'm gonna
No.
get through it. I just saw you get through it just like that. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I think that one of the things that we have to understand when we're doing this, and education has always been important for me. When I was, you asked me what my dirt, I'll tell you a little bit of dirt that I forgot to tell you. When I was 16, I ran away from home. It wasn't anything. My dad and I didn't get
Touche.
along.
Yes, I
I
did.
wasn't, yeah, yeah, I wasn't, okay, so I ran away to like one of my girlfriend's houses.
Yeah.
So we're not, I didn't hop a train and go across country or anything like that. And, but one of the things, we, we had family meetings and went to counseling and stuff like that. And then when I came back home, my parents got me a job at a convenience store.
Right.
And this taught me about how I learn. And the guy comes out, and I think his name is Pastor Joe, I think, if I remember right. Super nice man, owned this little convenience store. He owned a bait house that was right next to it. And he said, the first day you're gonna paint a fence. You're gonna paint it red. I want the whole fence. It was like maybe, I don't know, 15 to 20 feet long, and it was an 8-foot fence. So I had to
Mm,
use a little ladder, right? He goes,
right.
here's all the paint. I want this done in 4 hours. Got it. So I go in there. I said, the fence is painted. He goes, you didn't do all that. I said, yes, I did. Right? Now, I grew up with a man that was a Marine, so I understand instructions. So then I go, do you want me to continue to work? Like, because he wanted to see how he's going to do that day. And he said, nope, you can call your mom, dad. These were the punishments for running away, right? So I had to do certain things. And so he said, call your dad, tell him to come pick you up. So daddy comes and picks me up. Next day I go in. He goes, I'm going to have you run the bait shop. And I said, okay. So he tells me all about the bait shop. What he didn't know is since I was 7, I'd been doing sales my whole life.
Mm.
My parents ran fireworks stands, and I sold Girl Scout cookies. And
Wow.
back in the day, you went door to door to sell Girl
Yeah.
Scout cookies. I always sold the most Girl Scout cookies, the whole 9 yards. So he comes back at 12 o'clock. I started at 6 o'clock in the morning, and he comes back at 12 o'clock, and there was nothing in his bait shop. It was all gone, all sold. I sold everything but the containers that had the minnows in it. And he goes, how did you do all that? And I said, you gave me instructions. You told me how much everything cost. I simply asked everybody if they needed anything else.
Yeah. Look at that.
Sold it all. And he
Mm.
goes, okay, well, I've got to restock this, and it's going to take a couple of days. So why don't you come in and learn how to make pizzas? And what I learned was how quick I could learn. Once I was shown, once I understood. So
Mm.
I understood the product. I understood what I needed to do. I can
Mm.
get the job done. And I think that there's nothing wrong with that. Not everybody can get a PhD. And I think you and I have to address that on a global level. I
Yeah.
love that people are electricians. I love that we have blue collar.
Yes.
I love my parents were always blue collar.
Right.
My mom was a custodian almost my entire life at the school. I went and cleaned toilets. I don't care as long as we get the job done.
Shout out to your mom and that, because my dad is people don't know my dad's a bishop, but he been a janitor for like 30 years at MTA. Shout out to him, and he showed me just the resilience of that, and you would never know until he
Yeah.
opened or he take you to his job, and it's like, what are you doing? Put that trash can away. Oh, and now he's a lead janitor with like 30, 40 janitors underneath him. He's been there for 30 years. He has his own office, all these things. I'm like, wow, look at that. That's where I get it from, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and I think that I remember my mom worked the night shift when I was in high school. So she would have to go to my basketball games and then go to work, and she'd work all night. And I always thought it was the coolest thing on Friday nights, right? Because when I got done with my basketball games, I'd throw my sweats on and I'd go and work all night with my mom
Right.
to spend time with my mom.
I love that. Look at that.
and and then Saturday morning we'd sleep and then we'd wake up and hang out and whatever. But I just thought it was the cool. I thought my mom was the coolest person in the world because she's up there and she's cleaning all these offices and making them all pristine and everything. And I'm getting to work alongside her and we got to talk and bond and everything like that. And I didn't care that I was cleaning toilets. I didn't care that I was cleaning sinks or sweeping or mopping or anything. It's just that's just what we did, right?
Right.
But there was a hallway, there was a breezeway in one of the buildings, and I was a freshman in high school, had biology. It was the most miserable class I ever had. And this breezeway, my mom's at work and we have all these jars and we're catching bugs for my bug collection.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was the coolest thing. I was like, Mom, let's go back over to the breezeway and see if we can get some more moths. Let's go back over. And I think that we forget there's just those little things, right? Those little things that teach us um, what hard work is. What is
Right.
hard work,
Exactly.
right? And
I
we
love
we
that.
said we'd talk about that, right?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
is hard work?
Yeah.
It's different levels. It's different
Yeah.
things. Hard work isn't necessarily sweating to death every day and or even pounding on the computer for 12 hours a
Right.
day. But she showed up every day, but she also showed up for me as well. So
Right.
I think I think we forget to do that. We show up for other people. Those people, you have to show up for them. And parents do it every day, and it's a
Yeah.
thankless job.
Right. Shout out to your mom though, and Mama Renee. If motivators, if you never met her, she's the sweetest lady in the world. Like, you just want to give her a hug as soon as the conversation is initiated. Or you might shed some tears because it's like, man, why is this lady so nice to me? I don't deserve,
Yeah,
but she's so nice.
yeah,
I appreciate her. That's what the feeling I got from her when she
yeah,
touched me and we talked and we hugged, and it's like she knew me since I was a baby. So it's like you understand that, and I see where you come from.
yeah.
Right now, I want you to tell the motivators and the motivators tables your social media, how we can find you.
Yeah, so I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram. I don't do TikTok.
Yes.
I everybody's trying to get me to do TikTok.
Yeah.
And I always told you I was like, I don't know how to do all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I've had my nose in a book for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely LinkedIn is pretty much where I hang my hat most of the time. Instagram, I'm still figuring that whole thing out.
Okay.
But yeah, so LinkedIn and Instagram, and I'm always reachable. I think
Yeah.
that it's important for your audience to understand that, if we can do it, I know people say this, right?
Yeah.
Anybody can do it. And you
Yeah.
don't have to go for your doctorate. You and I talked this summer.
Yeah.
If you want to be a journeyman or if you want to, be a welder, I always think that
Do
these
it.
people with craftsman skills are
Right.
just amazing, right?
They are.
Just if you're going to do it, just do it. Just do it. Be the best that you can be at what you are good at,
The best
whatever
version.
that is.
Yes, definitely. Get out there and just initiate contact. That's it. Whatever you want to be. That's
Right.
it, just cleaning houses. Like, I know people who have businesses that clean houses and they make a whole lot of money. Whatever you want to do, just do it. Don't do nothing. I tell my son all the time, he's getting ready for the military. I said, long as you go do something, Don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to give you all
Right.
the tools and information that you could go do a couple of years and come back and now you can live life. But guess what? You got a leg up on people that didn't do us a lot of things, especially your age group and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
we appreciate you. But spell it out to us. Let us know how we find you on LinkedIn. Like, what is the verbiage and Instagram too?
Oh my gosh, I don't. It's Dr. Andrea Swink on
Yeah.
LinkedIn, and it's Dr. Andrea Swink on Instagram as well.
There you go. You guys heard that.
Yeah,
Doctor. Don't get it
Doctor
twisted. Doctor, don't get it
Dr.
twisted.
Dr.
Yes,
Yes,
definitely.
yes,
Can
yes.
we
It's
tell us about your real quick your business that you have helping people with papers and stuff like that. Let them know.
Yeah, so I do proofreading and copy editing, which I've been doing it for a while, but I got certified last year while I was doing my my dissertation as well.
Yeah.
And so, there's a relationship that you have to have when you're going through this. And I have found that out personally going through this and having to reach out to somebody to do my own proofreading and copy editing. But I don't do it just for thesis and masters and college papers and stuff like that, but I also do business paperwork and anything that is manuals, training manuals as well. So that's the extent that I do on that. It People don't realize that AI doesn't proofread and copy edit properly,
Yeah.
nor do they catch the mistakes that most people catch. I think that the best thing that helped me do that was crossword puzzles and word searches when I was a kid, because I can catch things that most people cannot catch. I enjoy it. It's kind of weird. But some people, I've done all of their, like, they go through all of their masters and even all of their PhD, and I've proofed every paper for them because they're like, I'm not good at this, right? And we all have to have something. So I'm getting ready to finish up another person, their masters, and it's just making sure that they have masterpieces, like they put it together, and then I give them little notes. It's kind of like having a tutor or a or your own professor saying, "Hey, you might want to look at this or change this, or this doesn't really make sense, or whatever the situation is." But it's not just like APA, which you and I are used to, but it's knowing MLA, Chicago Manual Style, and everything else that goes along with that, from
All
law,
that.
science. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yes. Hey, motivators, whoever's listening, new or old followers, chat. Hey, if you need some papers proofread, you got to come to Dr. Sweet. She the best in the business right now. Best, you understand? And she makes it look easy. I can't do it. Don't come to me. I can't do it. But she got it going on, and we appreciate you here at the Motivators Table. And what we want you to
Yeah.
do right now is, I see you developing as a speaker, and I told you I would help you. That's why I
Yes.
put you on my platform because I wanted to
Yes.
spotlight you and show the world how
Yes.
amazing you are. You're my friend, but I'm
Aw.
sharing you now with my community. So tell us, give me a good minute or two of inspiration that you can leave my viewers with.
Wow. So I'm going to bounce off of what I told everybody last summer was, you have to trust the process of your life, and you have to trust the process of yourself, right? And there it is a process. Life is a process, and you have to trust that process. Whether you're going to school, whether you're having children, whether you're getting married, whatever the situation that you're in, that there's a process and there's a path, but they all lead through God. And you know that I'm a true believer of that, and having faith, and sometimes we lose that. But if you trust the process, take a breath, trust the process, take a breath, trust the process. And that's usually my platform 99% of the time, is just trusting that process and giving yourself the credit where credit is due, celebrating the milestones, whether small or big. They don't have to be huge to celebrate. I made 100 on my paper, Mom. Look at my spelling test, whatever.
Mm.
Honey, guess what? I completed my project today at work. I made it to work and home, and I didn't forget the groceries. Anything like that. But we forget that, and I think it's important that we give ourselves a little leeway in that process and that path that we take every day, every minute, and then also trust in yourself and trust in others, and trust those people that have faith in you, just like
Right.
our relationship, we have faith in each other, right?
Definitely.
And so I think that if you have faith, if you have true faith, not only in whoever, whether whoever you have faith in, whether it's God or somebody else, it doesn't matter. But whatever your spiritual connection is, you have that faith, and then have faith in yourself. If you can do those two things, you can do anything. I truly believe that. And then it's just trusting the process. It doesn't come instantly. It's not TikTok. It is it is not in hard work, right?
Right.
And then last but not least, understand that you don't have to be the smartest person in the world, but you can
Mm,
work harder than anybody else.
definitely. I love that. I love that. You heard that, motivators. Hopefully you got your
Yeah.
highlighters, your pens, and you did what you needed to do. That's why
Yeah.
we brought Dr. Swink to the motivators
Yeah.
table. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep saying doctor because I'm proud of my friend. A lot of people ain't proud of you.
Oh,
A lot
thank
of
you.
people,
Thank
you know what I'm
you.
saying? I'm so happy for her because I just can't wait because I know what it looks like. I saw it
Uh-huh.
done. A lot of my friends, 80% of my friends now are all doctors, are going for that doctorate because we level each other up and we appreciate you.
Right.
But this
Right.
level of my motivators table, this is where we pour into you right here. So I want you to
Yeah.
get your imaginary cup, hold it up, pour it out. Now hold it up. And we want to tell you here at the motivators table, we're proud of you. We love you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for all the work that you have been doing
Thank
in the
you.
dark. Faith is the substance of
Yeah.
things hoped for and evidence of things not
Yeah.
seen. You're definitely a
Yes.
product of that, and you've been putting it together. And we,
Thank you.
and myself, I appreciate you because I see what you're doing. I saw the grind. I
Thank you.
know exactly who you are. I saw the struggle. I see the looks in your
Yes.
eyes. I see what you got going on for the near future. And the world needs
Yeah.
somebody like you. And the kids everybody needs to see that, hey, this is a grind right here. So we thank you.
It is.
We appreciate you and thank you for coming on to the motivators table. Hey, season 5, we loading up. This is season 4, but season 5, y'all better get ready. Los Angeles Tribune, Spotify, Apple. We appreciate you guys for just tuning in with us. Thank you, motivators table. Thank you, Dr. Swink. Um,
Yes.
and we appreciate you for everything.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I love you very much. You know
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And um, if you're not connected with JR and you're not connected with the motivators table, you need to be. And the next time that they have an event near you, you
Yeah.
need to be at that event because a blast.
Yeah.
It's a blast, and you learn a lot. And the one thing you said about doctors and all your friends,
Yeah.
it kind of goes downstream, right? We
It
kind
does.
of start all swimming together.
Yeah.
And but one last thing is
Yeah.
that we're less than 1%,
Yes, definitely.
right?
Less than
So
1%.
we're in a special club.
Yes, definitely. You heard that. This is what it
Yep.
is. This is what it takes. Ain't no faking over here. You can't fake
No,
freak. You know what I'm saying? You can't fake it. We like
no.
tired, late night, writing papers, all these
Yes.
things, raising kids, trying to get it cracking. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day,
Yes.
we love you. Thank you, Motivators Table, and we see y'all soon. Boom.
Bye. Thanks.